Okay, there you go.
Perfect. The Braintree Board of Health meeting will now come to order. This is being done via a Zoom meeting. It is August 13th, 2020 at 7 p.m. Present, Mary Beth McGrath, Department of Municipal Licenses and Inspections Director. Vice Chairman, Dr. Philip Nettleman. Chairman, Dr. Arthur Bergoli. Agenda documents. Board of Health meeting agenda, August 13th, 2020, 2 pages. Approval of meeting minutes from July 9th, 2020, 4 pages. Dr. Nettleman, have you reviewed the minutes?
I have, and I would move that they be approved.
I will step down as the chairman, and I second that motion. All in favor? Aye.
Okay, so as I've mentioned in the past, anytime you make a motion, I need a roll call too. So I'll call that out afterwards. So Dr. Nettleman?
Aye, yes.
Dr. Bergoli?
Yes.
Thank you.
List of complaints. This is informational only, received from July 6th, 2020 through August 7th, 2020, and that's 2 pages.
The only question I have here is, Mary Beth, if someone complains about a location that's not using face masks, are these, do you take a note of who's making the complaint, or are they anonymous?
Some people register anonymously, some people actually leave their names. It just really depends upon the complaint.
And what would you normally do?
So that we go out and do an investigation on the complaint, whether it's received anonymously or a person leaves their name, and make a determination based on the observations whether or not they're following the COVID-19 reopening requirements, including social distancing, face covering, etc. And if they are, then we issue them a report that they are found there is no violation found. If there is a violation found, then they are issued a report that indicates that there was a violation and what the progressive enforcement is. So the progressive enforcement for a first violation is a verbal warning. We give that to them in writing, and it's documented that it was verbal. The second is a written warning. The third is a monetary ticket. And the fourth is the cease and desist, which means they have to close their establishment. And the last method would be going to court if we needed to. We hope that we never, ever get to that point.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm fine with the complaints, the list of complaints, Arthur.
Okay, thank you. New business. 1, request for permit for keeping of animals. Amy Barber, Granite Academy, 6 Columbian Street, 2 lambs. Application and supporting documentation, 9 pages, and regulation, 3 pages. Mary Beth?
Yes. So you have your packet in front of you that Amy has submitted. Amy, and quote me if I'm wrong in your title, the director of the Granite Academy School that's located at 6 Columbian Street in Braintree. It's across from it's actually right next to where the old lottery was, the Braintree Lottery. Amy is requesting for the keeping of 2 lambs on the property, the school property, and Amy's going to go into a bit of an explanation as to the reason they'd like the lambs and how they're going to be maintained and so forth. In your packet, though, you do have the area description, the map that shows where in relation to Columbian Street it is, and it's almost right across from Jamie's Pub or with the former Jamie's Pub and Grill. Is it, or is it Ellis Gymnastics?
I would say gymnastics.
It's right across the street from the South Shore Animal Hospital.
South Shore Animal Hospital, okay. So, right in that vicinity. So she has submitted a plot plan that shows where in relation to the shed, all of the associated items would be that the lambs will need: the locked gate, it's all fenced in, the water spigot for all of the watering needs, the shed for the animals. Also, our inspector, Amy, has gone out to do a site visit, and they meet all the setback requirements. You require normally minimum of 10 foot from a property line, and they've exceeded that. All of the direct abutters, which is only one, which would be the property that the former lottery property was, That abutter has been notified and has signed off on a letter that indicates they've received notification. So if possible, I'd like to turn it over to Amy and she can explain the wonderful things that they plan to do with keeping of the lambs.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Thank you, everyone, for being open to hear for this request. We're very excited to be able to have this opportunity, especially during this time that we're all in. Animals is something for our students. The students that attend Granite Academy is a special needs school for students who have social emotional disabilities. So a lot of the students that attend our school have some type of trauma or depression and anxiety. And so they come to our school to receive these special services. And animals in itself is something that our students have requested for quite some time. And throughout our research, lambs are something that we found to be actually very therapeutic and something that we think would be easy to manage with our students, but not just to have them on our campus, but actually bringing it to be part of our curriculum. We're bringing agriculture into the classrooms. So whether it's in-face instruction or whether we're doing hybrid or remote, we're ready to really incorporate how lambs is going to be part of our curriculum and having the students really be part of caring for them and contributing to their day-to-day when they're here. And we're really excited about this opportunity. I'm hoping that we'll get approved for this.
Thank you.
So I just want to kind of give some back history on, as you know, we have many keeping of animal permits, chickens, goats, horses, pigeons. A long time ago, and Dr. Nettleman might remember this. Dr. Bergoli, I'm not sure if you were on the board at the time, but you may recall that the Historic Society requested for the keeping of, I think, one lamb that's right across from Town Hall. That was probably 6 or 7 years ago. I don't know if that actually ever happened, but they did request and receive the permit. And that animal was going to be shared between this local historic society and I believe Plymouth Plantation. I'm not sure it ever happened, but that's the only other time the board has had issue of a lamb permit.
Right.
So
I mean, I have
We-
absolutely, I'm sorry.
We did have a permit for the horses over on Liberty Street,
we did.
backed up to the Pond Park.
Yes.
And my question is, I presume that this is the first time that you've ever had animals on this property.
To require a permit, yes. We've had bunnies, turtles,
And
fish.
who is going to be responsible for these animals on a daily basis?
Well, I'm going to be responsible, as well as working with Norm and the students will be responsible, but making sure that they're taken care of will be the oversight of Norm and myself.
Okay. All right. And
I have,
and
go ahead,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Arthur.
I know, this is a little difference there. I have absolutely no issues. There's plenty of area around where they're going to be, the school, et cetera. There's no houses nearby, et cetera. My only issue with Mary Beth is when you look at some of these other houses with these yards, I'm not sure neighbors like that will be very receptive to this. But I have no issues with the two lambs at the Granite Academy.
Well, this property in itself, you can see the land area that it's.
Exactly, there's
I mean,
plenty.
It clearly exceeds most of what you see in Braintree. The other thing too, Amy, several of the questions the board normally poses of applicants are, wild animals tend to draw wildlife, and you are in an area where there's a lot of land space and a lot of forestry behind you. And so what measures would you take to protect the animals so that they wouldn't necessarily be attracting wildlife such as foxes and things of that nature?
Well,
So-
there's wildlife back there.
Yeah.
You're in the woods. My only concern is that these animals are taken well care of.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working here at the school for 19 years, and I'm pretty familiar with the property. I've had animals my whole life. My mother's actually we still have a farm in Connecticut, and I was going to show the kids how to shear the sheep and clip the hooves and all that.
Okay,
I have a 4-foot high pasture fence that will go around their enclosure. And then there's a shed that's 15 by 15 that has electrical, so we can heat it or cool it. And they will be locked in there every day at 4, 6 o'clock, and then let out the next morning.
Okay, yeah.
so you will be primarily responsible.
Well, Amy and I will. I'm here 3 nights a week doing stuff. And on the weekends, I do all my mowing and stuff on the weekends, so it won't bother the kids.
Okay, okay.
Well, I'm hoping that the lamb can help with the mowing now.
Yes, you're right.
The poison ivy. The poison ivy would be great.
And the board may have seen in the packet as well, you may be familiar with that the New England Wildlife Center is just beyond this property, and Amy and Norm have engaged with the veterinary services that are offered there as the vet service for these animals. So
Right.
they are right next door to a veterinary service.
And how often does the Board of Health go over and inspect?
So the permit has to be renewed on an annual basis, and that's normally done on or around April 30th, May 1st of each year. So we go out and do an inspection at that point, and we also do spot inspections and any complaint inspections that we would get made possibly throughout the year.
Okay. All right, I move it be approved.
I will step down as the chairman. I second that motion. All in favor, aye.
Aye,
We'll do a
Aye.
roll call.
Roll call, Dr. Nettleman?
aye.
Dr.
Okay.
Foley?
Yes.
Okay, so Amy, we will get that permit out to you tomorrow. Congratulations.
That's thank you very
Thank you
much.
very
It's
much.
very exciting. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you
You're
very much.
welcome.
Okay,
You're welcome.
bye-bye.
Bye.
I mean, to me, that was pretty easy. They have plenty of room there. I
It's
think
a
if it
good
was in a
property.
neighborhood, it'd be a little bit different.
Right, right.
B, Floyd Cornell, 160 Jefferson Street, 6 chickens. Application and supporting documentation, 18 pages, plus regulation, 3 pages. I just want to make a comment that I have never seen a presentation like this in all my years on the
Oh,
Board of Health for chickens. So I just want to say my hat's off to you two.
I work in the compliance world, so just want to organize things.
Well, I knew that the board
Very
would be impressed with that. So Mr. and Mrs. Cornell are interested in the keeping of 6 chickens on their property at 160 Jefferson Street. In your packet, you do have the area map of where Jefferson Street is located. Jefferson Street abuts the town's municipal golf course. And there's a very nice plot plan that Mr. and Mrs. Cornell have provided to the board. It meets all of the setback requirements, 11 foot from the rear property line, 40 feet from the side property line on one side and 25 from the side property line on the other side. All of the direct abutters have been notified of the intent to request the permit. We have not had any calls from any of the abutters that object, or no comments at all. And as you can see in the chicken coop maintenance plan and care document that the Cornells have provided, it's very detailed as to how they're going to maintain and keep the animals.
Yeah, I took a little extra reading.
When were these notices sent out? I see that there are 4 abutters.
So there were several. There was one that was actually, I believe, and Mr. and Mrs. Cornell could speak to this, but one it looks like was hand carried, and the gentleman signed it on July 28th. And then the other, or it's actually several of them. 2 of them were hand carried and signed, and then 2 were mailed by certified mail, and they were received as delivered. So, and we have not had any contact from any of the abutters.
So if you have not heard anything adversely from the abutter, you assume that it's okay.
Correct, because in Mr. and Mrs. Cornell's letter, it indicates that the request will be reviewed by the board this evening and at 7 p.m. And if they have any questions or comments, they're to contact us, and provided the phone number. We've not received any calls.
All right. Well, I approve this, and with the usual stipulations that the board will check on this thing. And of course, this is 6 chickens, no roosters. The people understand that.
Correct. So, Mr. and Mrs. Cannell, there is a requirement that prohibits the keeping of a rooster.
Yes,
Right.
we know.
Yes, we understand.
We
For
don't
obvious
woke up
reasons.
either.
Right.
I will step down and I will second that motion, and we'll do a roll call.
And
Mary
Dr.
Beth?
Nolan? Yes.
Aye, yes.
And Dr. Bergoli?
Yes.
Thank you. So
Good
the
luck.
permitting-
No,
so
thank
we'll
you
be in
guys
touch
very
with you
much.
Tomorrow regarding the permit issuance.
Okay,
Oh, thank you
Good,
so
thank you.
much. Thank you
welcome.
very
Good
much.
luck,
I
good
appreciate it.
luck.
our little
Thank
one will
you.
be excited.
Yeah, it's her
Wow.
birthday today, actually.
Well,
Yeah,
tell
that's
her happy
cute.
birthday.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's more of a pet, really.
Oh, last month there was a family that was not happy with their neighbor getting chickens, but that's another point for another day.
So, Thank you
Mary
very-
Beth, I would just like you to someone to periodically check on those lambs.
yes.
I mean, I'm familiar with the academy. There should be no problem there. But what lambs need to have done on a daily basis and with 3-day weekends and so on and so forth, just to be sure that they're not neglected.
Okay, absolutely.
No problem.
Yeah.
I agree.
Thank you.
Where do we go from here?
So the only other things that I just wanted to mention are you've been getting my beach testing reports, and pretty much so far they've been satisfactory. We had a few little hiccups with Smith Beach with high readings, but we're now doing well, and the results have been coming back satisfactorily. You've also been getting reports on a daily basis of where we are with COVID. We've been doing well with very, very few cases, if no cases on a daily basis, which is a good thing. So hopefully we're on a good stretch, a hopeful stretch. And we will continue to monitor that on a daily basis. And the change that will happen this week is we will not be sending out the reports on the weekends. However, Jean and I will still be working on the weekends to make sure that all of the contacting is being done as necessary.
All right, I mean, that's fine for this, but I'm a little confused. What's going on with the mayor's meeting now that I'm supposed to be in?
There is no meeting. There was no meeting scheduled. The meeting that was scheduled is this meeting. So you received a notice that you're a panelist for this meeting. That's how it's sent out to you.
It is a little confusing, but yes.
Yeah. So,
But it had to do with,
no, I
with the-
saw the notice. The notice was the mayor's office through Stephen Leary, he prepares and coordinates the scheduling of the Zoom meetings. So I get the meeting scheduled, and then he puts all the information on the meeting agenda as to how to connect to the Zoom meeting. And then he goes ahead and uses the email addresses that I give him, which are yours, and sends out notification to you from the mayor's office that you are a panelist for the meeting. So that's what the email was. There's no other meeting. There's no other meeting scheduled at present for the board members with the mayor.
okay.
Are we continuing with Zoom meetings?
For the time being, we are.
Okay,
And once that changes, I will absolutely let you know.
no problem.
All right, and then I make a motion the meeting be adjourned.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, and a roll call, Dr. Nettleman,
Yes,
Dr. Bergoli.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hey, I'll see you
Thank-
next month.
thank you,
Good luck with the
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Stephen.
You're welcome. No problem.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Bye-bye.